Hi all, welcome back. So in today's video, let's solve minimum number of k consecutive bit flips. So the question here is, we'll be given with a binary array called nums and an integer k. So we can flip the consecutive number of k value integer. Say for an example, if k is 2, we can take the first two or any two consecutive numbers and then flip it. Flipping it means converting all the zeros to 1 and all the ones to zeros. If there are any zeros in the consecutive values, we just have to convert that into 1, and then if there is any ones, we'll have to convert that to 0. And the finally, we have to obtain a array with all ones. Let me demonstrate it and show you to you the question and the solution what we are approaching. So the question here is, we are given with an array called nums. So let me take an example of an array with only zeros in it, 0, 0, 0, comma 0, and the k integer, let me consider 2. This is just for explaining what the question is, and we'll take up the solution after this, right? So they are telling us that we can flip any two consecutive values from this given array. So here two consecutive means it can either be these two or even these two, right? Now let's see, so the solution what we're trying to approach is, let's flip on any value where we first encounter zeros in it. Say for an example, the first value itself is 0 here. Let's flip it. Let's flip the first two consecutive zeros and see what happens. So what we can try to do is flip 0 and 0 to 1 comma 1, and the other two values still remains the same. So this will be flip is equal to 1. Now let's flip again the let's flip again the array. So what happens if we flip these, starting from this 0 and this 0, we will get 1 comma 1 comma 1 comma 1. So this, we were able to achieve the final result in just two flips, right? Let me explain, considering another example where nums will be equal to 1 comma 0 comma 1, right? So here what we have to do is, we can flip again k is equal to 2. The starting flipping happens once we encounter a 0 in the array. So here we encountered 0 in the second place, so let's not touch anything on the first value. Let's leave this here, and then we flip it here, and since the k value is 2, we need to flip both of these value. So what we have to do is, 0 flipping will become 1 and 1 flipping will become 0. Again, now that there are no elements after 0, we won't be able to flip it. So here what happens, we won't be able to achieve what our result. So what we have to return is flips is equal to -1. So this is the question what we are given with. So now let's discuss on the solution and approach what we are taking to solve this problem. So one efficient way to solve this problem is by using a sliding window combined with a greedy approach. So the plan is to iterate through the array, and whenever we encounter a 0, we'll perform a flip operation for the next k elements. And then we'll keep track of where flip occurred, and that we'll keep track using an auxiliary array called flip array. And then we'll count the number of flips needed with a variable called flip count, which will give us the number of flips which the array has taken to end up in the final output, right? So now that we know the solution, how we are approaching the problem, let's build up a pseudocode which will help us solve the problem by coding. So first what we need to do is, we need to initialize some variables. That is, n will be the length of the nums array, and flip count will be equal to 0, and that is used to count the number of flips we perform, and loop through the array nums, and we have to remove the flip effect that is out of the window by subtracting the flip array of I minus k from the current flips. So we have to subtract from current flips minus equal to flip array of I minus k. So after this, if the current element is a of I, then it needs to be flipped. So that we'll perform by a of I plus current flips mod 2. If it's equal to 0, then what we'll do is we'll increment current flips or flip count plus or equal to 1, and current flips also to be incremented by 1, and also flip array of I should be equal to 1. Right, and then what we have to do is we have to return the flip count. So this flip count will have our final answer, the number of flips it has taken to end up in our destination. So this approach ensures that we are effectively counting the number of minimum number of flips needed using the sliding window technique. And let's run this code and see if it works. So now let's code up the solution what we just discussed. So firstly, we have to initialize few of the variables. One will be length of the array nums, and second one is flips, which will be equal to 0, and third one will be flips, which is needed. Let me name it as flips needed, and this will be 0 for the number of size of the original array, and current flips will be equal to 0 as well. So now what we have to do is we need to loop through the array for n in range of for I in range of n, sorry, and we have to check if I is greater than or equal to k, and if that's the case, we need to subtract or XOR with the flip needed variable flip underscore flip needed of I minus k. Right, if we have to check if we need to flip a position at I. If nums of I plus the current flips, current underscore flips mod 2 equal to 0, then if I plus k is greater than n, then we have to return -1. So this is for the impossible cases. Right, then we have to increment the flips. Flip plus equal to 1, and flips needed will be plus equal to 1, and current flips will be XOR of 1, and then finally we return the flips. Let's see if the solution works up and takes up as the correct solution. Seems as so issue in our solution. So flips needed where it is not associated. So So flip underscore needed is properly used. Current is flips, not lips. It still says flips needed is not associated with the values. Let me see. I minus k XOR current. Right, so since this is an array, we have to give it as an array value, not just as a variable. Right, I think now the solution should work out. It still didn't work out here. Plus is not required. You have attempted to go to, okay. Let me click run, and now it still says flips needed of I is equal to 1. It's wrong because flip spelling is wrong. Now it should take up. Yes, it accepted all the solution, all the cases. Let me run this and see if it works. It is submitting. Oh well, it submitted, and I think it beats 88% of the solution. I think it is considered one of the fastest solution. And that concludes this video. I hope you find this video helpful, and if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Feel free to leave any questions or comments below. I would love to hear it from you. And thanks for turning in today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.